Sup guys, it's Desro for guide number 16. This is a guide on PvP. There's actually 3 replays. It's the first time ever that we do that with a guide. So there's 3 replays. There's a replay versus a 3 gate, which is this replay, a replay versus a 4 gate, which is the next replay, and then a replay versus just like a weird game, like the guy stays on one base and I grab a second base. So basically what we're looking at today is a 3 gate Stargate build. There's a few adaptations you have to do if it looks like a 4 gate. There's a few adaptations you have to do if it looks like a 3 gate or a 2 gate pressure. So we start, I'll go slow for the first replay for the build order, and then after that we'll go through the other replays. So we start with 9 pylon, 13 gate, 15, 16 gas, chrono probes 3 times, scout on 13. By the way, I know it might go quick. There's gonna be the notes and the description on YouTube. So we have, so we scout after 13 for proxies. We fill the gases. Of course, right now we don't have money for a cyber, but it's okay. That's part of the build. So we keep going. So we chrono a 4th time. Now usually I wait to scout them. This map's pretty big. I wait to scout them before doing a 4th chrono. It allows me to decide whether I want to do DT or Stargate. So this guy here is not making a zealot. So I'm adding a 3rd pylon, usually around the ramp. He's not making a zealot. I'm stealing a bit of his minerals. So he's not making zealot, and I'm pretty sure he makes a 2nd gate, but I guess the timing is off on my head. So keep making probes. You want to make the Stargate. You want to make the Stargate before the sentry if they don't scout. If they scout, you kind of have to make the sentry first. I actually didn't see a 2nd gate, so I had no clue what he was gonna do. But it's okay because we eyed a probe kind of far, and we poke back in at some point. For me, it's game sense. It's not always the same time. It's game sense. But I guess I'll call it out for you guys, and I'll put it in the description. So usually, a lot of times, I don't make the mothership core. I don't make the mothership core because, well, I mean, there's no reason not to make the mothership core if it doesn't look like pressure. You know, mothership core is pretty useful, but you know, versus a 4 gate, versus a 3 gate, let's say, because he's doing 3 gate, right? But let's say he did 2 gates into 3 gates. The mothership core is not going to save you from someone who does a lot of pressure. So I'm getting the oracle kind of late because, you know, I had to make the sentry first before the Stargate. I'm going 3 gate to be safe. Proxy pylon always, and then I poke back in. So I guess around 5:30, 5:35 you should be checking for the natural. Now if they're not at home, ding 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 ding, they're being aggressive. So that's actually good for us because the oracle is going to get to put in work. The oracle is going to get to put in work. I actually see that he's sending in a probe. Usually that means there's a pylon somewhere. Here's the example. Does he have a 2nd probe? Anyway, so my probe managed to get inside his base. I made a 2nd zealot because I wanted to save gas. And by the way, one of the problem with this replay, I guess, is that the mothership core will beat the sentry. So you kind of need a stalker around. Usually, like that. I mean, this game is kind of old. It's about 10 days old. But what I do these days, and I guess like I didn't know he opened 1 gate, so I wasn't expecting pressure as well. But what I do these days is I do zealot, sentry, stalker, or zealot, sentry, sentry. But 2 sentries will not be the mothership core, so you have to keep that in mind. But here again, I didn't know he was going to put pressure. I was even ready to grab an expand. Always make a voidray behind the oracle. But if you do encounter phoenixes, you kind of have to cancel the voidray and go into phoenix with a few ground units because they're gonna have the phoenix advantage. Well, I mean, you make stalkers if you're afraid that they're gonna lift a lot of probes. But I mean, this guide is definitely a lot harder to execute. than the other guides, because PvP has so many possibilities. That's why I've been holding off on making this guide, and that's why I have 3 replays, because there's so many different variations. So I get in, I focus. I could have focused on the stalker, but if I focus on the stalker, I kill less probe. But one oracle can kill. And by the way, you can't shift command. I don't know exactly how. I've seen someone in GSL do it, but I've tried like with attack shift, and it doesn't work. He actually left with his stalkers. Not sure why. I've got photon overcharge, but photon overcharge is not gonna save me. Ended up losing the voidray. Oh no. I misrallied the voidray. So I swear to God, like I was like, where's my voidray? What happened to my voidray? I remember playing this game, and but he's lost a lot of probes, and that's usually how it goes when you go oracle. They're gonna lose a lot of probe, but defending might be hard. Now, unfortunately today I don't have a situation where they go for Phoenix, and that's because usually if they stay on one gate double gas, I will not go oracle. I will do a DT build, which I'll do a guide maybe next week of the reason I don't like to open oracle if it looks like they might be going if they stay on one gate double gas. Yeah, if they go on one gate double gas, the reason I don't open oracle is because I don't like Phoenix versus Phoenix, but eventually I will have to learn it. And the thing is, if you open oracle and they open Phoenix, or if you both open oracle, it's okay, but if they open Phoenix and you open oracle, then they have an advantage, and that's kind of like a blind advantage, like there's no way for anyone to know. And right now I knew he was all in, so that's why I'm pulling the probes to make sure I don't lose this fight. That was actually really nice force fields. But yeah, I mean, bring back the voidray, and so the second game is a 4-gate. A 4-gate, when you see signs of a 4-gate, a lot of chrono boost, only one gas, or a very late second gas that doesn't look convincing at all, then you know that you have to prepare for that. So I was playing on Korean server a lot these days, and this guy didn't look like he wanted to 4-gate, so I made a few adjustments, and you'll see. So again, 13 gates, scout after 13. I actually didn't scout in my main, but I scouted out with a probe after. Double gas, pylon on 17. Sometimes I forget it when I talk a lot on stream. It makes me sad. So I see a late second gas, and he only did 3 chrono on Nexus. Is that 3? No, he did 2. He only did 2 chrono on Nexus. So that to me is like a 4-gate. Like I don't buy that he's not doing a 4-gate. I poke in, I see that he's chronoing warp gate research. So zealot, sentry, chrono the first sentry to have more energy. And what I do, if it really looks like 4-gate, like, and it is 4-gate, is I go 2 gates and then a Stargate. Now I've won games where I've done 1 gate, 1 Stargate and managed to win, but it's too hard. So I really recommend going 2 gate, then a Stargate, and just basically never let them up the ramp. Now, of course, I said earlier, if you have 2 sentries, you're gonna die to a mothership core. Yeah, so sometimes it's better to just go full sentries. I recommend going full sentries. I mean, if you scout with your probe that he's making a mothership core, then you can adjust yourself, really. So I'm on 3 gates, chrono a bit of warp gate research, and the notes and the description is going to be for the build when it goes according to the plan, not when they're going 3 gate or they're going 4 gate. So I guess next game the build will be how it should be. So far it's been a lot of modified version, but really there's no reason to here I don't want the stalker to cause too much chaos, so I pull all the probes. Like I said, always have a proxy pylon, always sack your probe. My probe ended up in his main. So the mothership core, the oracle's about to come out, slightly supply block, voidray behind it, I actually don't know what kind of tech he has, but it was a 4-gate, so he must not have a lot of gas, and it is actually true, he does not have a lot of gas. Always be careful. Actually, here I should have force field like 2 inside and just make a few zealots. I don't know. I didn't feel like making zealots, I guess. Oh, I did make zealots. So one thing you can do when you're being contained like that is make a few zealots for aggression. And if you join forces with your oracle and your zealots, it's never gonna go bad. So that is actually what I do. You know, 2 stalkers will kill an oracle. You might kill a stalker, but your oracle will die. At least with 2 zealots, everything should die. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit here. I'll put the production tab for you guys. Sorry. So I unpower a lot of gates. Come in with the mothership core, and then it's Christmas, of course. You gotta focus fire. Usually what I do is I put the oracle in hold position, because if it gets attacked, it's gonna want to attack back. But if you put it on hold position, it has 4 range. So unless the stalkers are really close, you're always gonna be attacking probes. So if you're in a situation where you can't look at the oracle, you're better off just putting it on hold position rather than just sending it, because it's going to attack back whatever attacks it. But here I was able to micro it, and I've killed a total of 7 workers, which is pretty good. I tried to kill another probe here, didn't work out. He's trying to get up the ramp again. Maybe he thought I wasn't going to pay attention. Might lose a sentry, that's actually bad. Voidrays, pop charge, kill a lot of stalkers, and then the game goes on. But if you look at the unit loss tab, he's lost about 1,000 more. I've got voidrays, which are close to unbeatable. Really, like stalkers, they, you know, like one voidray can be beaten, but like this guy expanded when he was down on workers. He should have cancelled that and stay on his base and maybe make something else happen. But so yeah, I come up here, guardian shield, pop charge. The voidrays, they're kind of slow, so I wasn't able to attack the stalker, so that's a little unfortunate. The reason I didn't expand is because he's lost a lot of workers. Like, he doesn't deserve to be expanding. I can kill him easily. So, you know, you gotta seize the opportunity. And then even with photon overcharge, I had a lot of units, and I had charge, so there's no way you could beat the voidrays even with photon overcharge. And yeah, so the final game is a game a little bit more straight up. So I'll try to focus on the build order here once again. I've been having a lot of success with this build. I mean, 3-gate Stargate is really standard. When people ask me like what kind of build I should do, 3-gate Stargate, like PvP and the Art of the Swarm. Okay, enough with the seizure. PvP and Art of the Swarm is always, you know, voidrays into Tempest, and that's if you're not making phoenixes. Phoenixes are good versus oracles. They're good versus voidrays and low number. But yeah, and I've had games where I go voidray and they go storm into tempest, and you kind of need to get rid of your voidrays, because tempest versus tempest is all about who has the bigger number. So yeah. Actually, I just thought of something and I'm gonna write it down. You know, Tempest versus Tempest, if you have like a lot of Tempest, you're probably wasting DPS. Tempest versus Tempest, how many Tempest shot it takes to kill one Tempest. And I have to, that way, like, let's say you have, let's say it takes 10 Tempest, you have 20 Tempest, then you do 2 control groups of Tempest, and you focus fire different Tempests. Of course, if you lose a Tempest, then you're not gonna one-shot Tempest, so you're gonna, maybe the battle is gonna turn. But if you do that and your opponent doesn't, then you should have a lead. You should kill 2 units at one blast when he's gonna kill 1 unit at one blast. Alright, I just thought of that. You know, I love you guys. You're making me learn this game. So yeah, that's me right here. We're the green guy. The green guys are always the good guys in StarCraft 2. Please. Why am I making 2 voidrays? This build was supposed to be standard. No. No. I thought it was a good replay. Man. Alright, well, I mean, I'm too far into the guide to modify this. So again, around 525, 530, sack the probe. I'm sorry, guys. I'll put a replay where it's like me versus the AI. If you don't think they're gonna put pressure, what made me think he was gonna put pressure, I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, it didn't turn out so well. I went to gate, probably was scared. Oracle back of that, transform the gates. Oh yeah, this guy. I mean, I guess this game is kind of cool, so I kind of redeem myself. This guy did DT in the middle, and when you actually have the watchtower, you can't see. So I redeemed myself by showing you guys a cool game, even though it's not the game I wanted. Um, but yeah, you always gotta adapt yourself, you know, like when it's, especially in a matchup like PvP, especially in a matchup like PvT, you know, like my guide number 14, 3 gate, 1 robo. I've been doing 1 gate, 1 robo, 1 forge, and a second gate instead of 3 gates, and that early forge gives me so much opportunity to just be more greedy and have so good upgrades. So, yeah, here, I mean, an oracle in PvP, when we're talking one base versus one base, 3 or 4 kills, 450 gas, as long as you don't die because you're lacking gas, is actually a good investment. So 8 kills, I expand off of that, like why not? Here he was putting a pylon here, so you kind of have to look around. Of course, I see that he's still on one base, so I have to be very careful. And here I actually sent a second oracle, but I'm still not going to catch that, which is pretty sad. So I'm going to try to send a second oracle, yeah, the DTs are going to come in. Yeah, 3 DTs. So, I mean, and I was making a voidray. Am I going to let the voidray finish? So I realize, right? Oh, he sent 1 DT because he wanted to do Archon bus. Then he realized I had no detection, so he's gonna send all the DTs. That's actually smart what he did. But yeah, just dance with the probes, just run. Never let probes get attacked for no reason. I sent another Oracle, killed 3. So if you look at the worker count, I'm still doing okay. If you're on 2 base and they're on 1 base, more than 30 probes will make you die. So just keep that in mind. That guy and that game, I'm gonna start floating a little bit of money. Um, yeah, I force fielded so he wouldn't kill this. This game, I'm gonna start floating a little bit of money, so I definitely should have added more gates near the end. I remember playing this game on stream today. But one thing you want to do versus DT, and you know, I'm gonna realize he's still on 1 base very soon. Where's my vision? I'm gonna send another oracle shortly. The one that doesn't have energy for another envision. So like that guy can be my scouting guy. So I realize he's gonna do a bust. You know, if he made two zealots right there. So I cancel my gas because and I just make another gate because I know he's all in at this point. So there's no reason. And I go back in, kill a few more workers. So he's down to 20 workers. So like it's a crappy 4 gate because he doesn't have 16 on minerals. So yeah, here I mean this battle was a little sloppy. Oracle, I use it to attack because it does good damage. Unfortunately, that makes me lose detection for the DT, and I know there's a DT, but it's not like it was 1 DT. Like you can see the shimmer. And then yeah, kill the DT. But yeah, this guide, I mean, it's I guess it doesn't really show late game. I haven't won a lot of late game scenarios, but that will be a priority. That and my DT guide. So maybe next week to make it up, I'll try maybe to do 2 guides, 1 macro PvP and 1 DT PvP. PvC guides, I've been doing the same build. I've started a new build, which is a variation of guide number 10, except it's a little bit more greedy. I do quick robo bay because people make more hydras these days versus Stargate. And actually, opening Stargate is quite nice because the options for them, the option for them to go muta is heavily severed because you already have phoenixes, right? So I mean, this guy he was not a quitter. He gave me a run for my money, and he ran for his money too. And he was like, "All right, I'll snipe the Oracle, and hopefully I'll kill enough army to win the game." But he's on 2 base with 1,000 minerals, and but yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the guide. I'll be looking for a replay to put in the description. That's well, I'll actually play the game, or you know what? You know what? All right, this is the guide, guys. This is part of the guide. I'll play game versus the AI. I'll explain the build quickly. That on the spot thinking. That on the spot thinking. All right, we'll put a very easy AI. I just want to show the build order. Some people in chat are suggesting, play me, play me, play me. But I just want to show the build order. I don't want to have a game that's being drawn out. Plus, you've been watching the guide for 30 minutes, so it's not rocket science to hard counter. Plus, if you don't know hard counter, then it makes a game last longer. So, yeah, well, I'll explain again the build order. Hopefully it's detailed enough. You know, usually I do 2 replays, and the guide is like super good. I'm not so satisfied with this format, but PvP is so many variations and so many situations that I guess you guys can't blame me, and maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself. So I don't know. I don't like to play with sound. I don't know if I did the whole game. The whole guide without sound. Usually I try to put sound in even the music so it's more enjoyable for you guys. I probably regret that because my microphone is not the best, so you guys are probably like, the sound quality was really bad. That's raw, the sound quality. That's raw. What happened to the old microphone? So I apologize, I guess, for not putting sound. So yeah, we want to scout on after the gate. Scout after the gate. Double gas.
Not enough energy. Not enough energy.
Double gas. Scout with the probe. Oh, actually, we have minerals on probes. It's a gift to the AI before we chop its head off. So, like I said, the core is going to be delayed. One way to not delay the core would be to not scout, but we need the information since I do DT or Stargate depending on what I scout. Some people will not scout and then they'll be abused by a few cheeses that are really strong. So that's why I don't like to, we'll make the zealot because we want the sentry to be out as early as possible. That way, if it doesn't look like a 4-gate, we don't have to chrono the sentry. More than 4 chrono on probes is too much for me, especially, you know, if you don't chrono warp gate research and they turn out to do an aggressive build, then you're gonna regret it. So we've done, well, I mean, let's say like he didn't scout me, right? So, because a lot of people don't scout, so we'll get the Stargate right now. So we go to Stargate. Just don't want to. Whoa, forgot warp gate research, but not by much, so it's okay. Okay, by quite a lot, but you guys didn't see it. So we get the sentry. So the way you want to send your oracle, you want to send outside the watchtower range. If you send it that way, you might see proxy pylons. So you can send it at the bottom. Plus, you're gonna see if they're expanding. There's advantages and disadvantages to picking where you send the oracle. Now that'd be the time where no, it's not yet. Well, like I said, it's game sense, right? If I'd send probably the probe right now, maybe. If it looked like he was playing passive, if it looked like he was doing 2-gate, I'd wait a little bit longer because he'd probably not be in his base. If it looks like he's gonna play passive, which I guess usually I don't do oracle, then you wanna If they look like they play passive, you want to scout earlier. If it looks like they're going to play aggressive, I'm supply block, I'm talking a lot. But yeah, and I mean, you can fit the third gate, chrono war gate research a little bit. If you see an expand, you can do 2-gate expand. So like you see, there's like at every turn, anytime I add something of a possibility they might do, you want to play the build differently. So, you know, because like at the end of the day, if they did a 1-gate expand, if you're doing a 3-gate plus a voidray expand, you're behind. Of course, you're gonna be a little bit more ahead because of the oracle. But yeah, so there's a lot of variations to this build. There's a lot of experience that comes with it. With any new build, you shouldn't get discouraged losing. You should be grateful that you're being given opportunities to learn. So yeah, I mean, you should give up on a build if you lose like 20 games in a row. And you've asked me 100 questions in chat, then you should give up on a build because it just doesn't work for you, I guess. But there's, like, you see, like, I'm on hold position, and you try to shift command, and does it actually work? Oh my goodness, I guess I wasn't doing it properly. Alright, so if you press A and then you shift, it works. But if you right click and shift, because the oracle is attack is an ability, if you don't attack move and you just right click with the mouse cursor by right clicking instead of 1A while holding A, you know, like 1 and then press A again and hold shift, then the oracle is gonna focus fire. So that's a cool thing we learned together. But yeah, guys, I mean, I hope you enjoyed the guide. Like I said, this guide, there's a lot of tweaks that you can do. You can do the save version of 3-gate and a voidray because they might 4-gate a lot in your league. I don't know the metagame at your league. I don't know if people cheese or not a lot or not. So hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys learned a lot. I'll just leave the replay because it's distracting while I talk. But yeah, guys, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, like the guide. It's not my best guide, but PvP is a really tough matchup to coach when there's a lot of options, especially with the new PvP, the way it works. So I hope you guys learned. Make sure to follow on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. It's everything /forward desrowfighting. So guys, thank you all for your time, and I'll be back with guide number 17. It's gonna be a DT opening in PvT, so I hope you enjoy it. Peace!